evening. Hello, everyone.
Happy Monday.
How you doing? Joyce, Carrie, Teresa, Karen, how's everyone? I love that intro. I do love that intro. It's a little long, but I still like it. Hello, Anna. Hello, Kathy. How are you? Is that really high, or is it me?
No, it's me. I'm shorter.
Okay. Hey, Chris, how are you? Susan, how's everyone doing? Michelle, John McGinnis, how are you, my friend? Hey, Laura. So, we're back Monday. Hooray!
After Father's Day.
Yeah, Father's Day. Father's Day was great, by the way. Hope you guys, all you dads out there, had a great Father's Day. I had a very good Father's Day. Went to the Jersey Shore. Hey, Naomi. Had a good time at the shore. Good time at the shore. Beautiful weather. Yeah, I had a great Father's Day. Really, really good. Some Italian food, nice restaurant, a lot of bread, a lot of pasta, a lot of chocolate cake.
A lot of laughing.
Very, very happy. Very happy. But before that,
hi, Naomi.
Saturday night we did have an event, Sterling Hill Mining Museum, which is by far one of our favorite places to do paranormal events at, to just hang out and go ghost hunting. We had a good time as usual. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate that. The event was from 8 to 12. A little misty rain there for a little bit, had me worried, but the weather was pretty good the whole night.
It's beautiful.
And Kathy's right. The mind never disappoints. It's always different. You never have the same. We never have the same event twice there. It's just kind of like people show up, we do what we do, and away we go. And I had, well, we, before I get to that, we sort of recently, probably like this year, kind of sort of, we sort of expanded. New Jersey Paranormal has always been the four of us for a while, good long while. Me, Chris, Tanya, and Kenny have been together for, God, years now.
Yeah.
Many years now. And, every now and then we'll do an event with like Robert and Sandra, or have some other people come. And lately we've been having Colleen Graves join us, who's a natural
practicing witch.
Very good at the mystical stuff. And also Danielle, who was a person who would come to our events for years and years and years with her daughter, Samantha, who we're very fond of. And we've known Samantha since she was 11. She's like, 17 now?
Yeah.
And so we're kind of like bringing Danielle in, kind of showing her the ropes, letting her, we let her
get
fly
her feet wet
a little bit out of the nest this time at the Sterling Mine. But, if you come to our events, you'll probably be seeing a lot more of everyone. At different times doing different things, we're all together. But the core four is still the two of us and Tanya and Kenny, but we're trying to, again, bring in some more people to do bigger events, to, do different things, because we always want to do different things.
Yep.
I mean, it's who we are. It's what we do. But the event itself, I like holding up in the, I do like going into the mine and investigating. I usually don't have a chance to do that at events, but we went the week before. We were there 2 weekends in a row. We went the week before with friends of ours. And we got to just go in and just ghost hunt, which we never do, And I haven't been in that mine in a long time.
Not on that way. Yeah.
And we got so many EVPs. So many things happened when it was just four of us in there, that I was just like, wow, I've forgotten how much I love being in the mine and doing the paranormal stuff. Still wasn't in there for the event because I like the office just as much. Now, every building there is original to when it was an active mine. They were used for different things, of course, but the office was still there, which is where I'm usually at. The museum was a different thing. The Geo building the lockers were in one area, and then they were in the other, and the showers were in another area, and the mine is, of course,
and I found out the section of the mine where I do, where the spring is and the Zoolander, that originally was not together, that was discovered, and where that spring is from the 1800s.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Amazing.
So I have been dealing with this person who, for the last 3-4 years, I explain this to the people that come to the events. When you're in the office, you'll see there's rooms that have beds in them.
Yeah.
And there's one upstairs, there's two downstairs. And when people who used to work at the mine come to the mine to visit, and if they're in town, if they're from out of state, they let them sleep in those, yeah, Mr. Friendly. And they let them sleep in those rooms, you know? And that's been fine for years and years and years and years until like the last 3 or 4 years when this person all of a sudden came into the basement and doesn't like people sleeping down there. This isn't me saying this. These are the people that used to work there, that would stay there. They'd be woken up in the middle of the night, see shadow figures that are hearing like metal banging.
And former miners. I mean, there's a former miner that who comes, that comes back to stay there because he likes. I mean, I don't think there's anyone who leaves and stays away from that mine. It's crazy.
If you work there for a long time.
Yeah, it's almost like it draws you back. Like these people are so drawn to it. You think after that hard work and doing what they do and doing the different studies and but they love that place and it shows, but they don't want to stay in that area where you go anymore. They're afraid of it. I don't know if you noticed, but right where
I got the elbow because she literally
No, it wasn't. No. I was trying to do you know where the geo is?
Does it work for me? It doesn't work.
You know where the geo is in that tunnel where you go to the geo?
Yeah.
All right, and then before you go in, you look up. There's actually, I don't know if you noticed, there's like a big, massive office trailer there, and that's where they stay.
Okay.
I found that out because I got the bejeebies scared out of me because when I came out of there, I heard a bang, and then there was a light that went on, and I realized it was right up above my head and freaked me out. So that was just a nice little tidbit.
So, in the basement, there's they've been getting scared out of there, and I've been interacting with whoever that is for a while now, never getting a name, never getting anything, just getting interaction. I did see the shadow figure run by me one time. Everybody had left. I tell people this when they're there. I was wrapping up my cords, and he ran right by me down the stairs, or top and a bottom portion of that building. And he's there, and he interacts a little bit here and there, sometimes more than others, but we had just started with the first group, and before they even came in, I had things on, I turned everything on, I had my Ovilus running and everything, and a voice came through my speaker that said, "Am I dead?" And I went, and now I thought there's a guy named Tom who used to work there for years and years. He passed a few years back, and they kind of believe that Tom is still around.
Yeah.
And I've interacted with Tom a little bit. I've gotten his name through the spirit box and everything. So I thought it was maybe Tom, and I'm trying to just talk to Tom and interact with him. And then the first group came in, and we got some stuff upstairs and downstairs. Then the second group came in, and we were in the basement with Mr. Friendly, and a voice came through that said, "Am I a ghost?" And I was like,
"Get you in the gut."
Wow. And everybody kind of stopped, oh man. Whoever it was first asked if they were dead, and then they asked if they were a ghost.
Which is kind of strange when you think about it, because that someone who was very scientific, because a lot of these people who worked in the mine, that they're all geo and they're very scientific, and they do studies, all of them. That the more you talk, you find out that a lot of them are very knowledgeable and were really interested in stuff. The other thing that I think you need to go back up and talk about is when you were doing setup before the event kicked off.
Just to answer your question, Paul, no. Who's ever on the poster for Power Unity will be at Power Unity. If they're not on the poster, they are not going to be there.
Hi, Dana and Rain.
Chris and John, I emailed you Saturday for mine. Did you get it? Karen, I don't know. I got to check. I just released the video, and I'm going to post the event for the September mine event too. So I'll get back to you. I'll look for that email. So no, I use a camera for something. It's an experiment that I do. I have a camera downstairs where that person is, so I can capture anything, and if I see anything. And
when you say person, you mean the spirit that's down there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just clarifying. That's all.
Do you want to tell the story?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Checking. I mean, I can't get like 10 words in without you.
Oh, you said person, so I want to make sure it's person spirit.
The spirit that's down there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like I'm so right. I'm gonna get that. I'm a ventriloquist all of a sudden. Hey, Patricia, how are you? I'm gonna fight my way through this, one way or another. Trust me. Oh yeah, we are very sassy tonight. So anyway, so I have the camera. I have multiple cameras, but I only use the one. And very first thing I do is set up that camera because I want to make sure everything is running and that the feed is good as I'm setting everything else up. So the camera ran for an hour, no problem. And then I heard a boom from the basement. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm saying, is somebody down there? And I'm yelling from upstairs, is somebody down there? Hey, John. And I turned around and the feed from the camera is out, no signal. And I'm like, oh man, it was running good for an hour. You know, people are going to be here in like a half hour. So I go down there, I check the plug, I check the wire, I turned the DVR off, turned it back on, couldn't get a feed. So I swap out the camera, I swap out the wire, camera's back on again. It's a different camera. Set it back up where I want it. I go back upstairs. I'm setting up my SLS camera. I hear boom again. And I'm like, no. And I looked, this time I looked directly at the TV screen and my camera was on the floor. And it was upside down facing.
He wanted your attention.
Facing the floor. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And the first thing I'm thinking, you know, can't you save this until people get here? Like, I got 20 minutes. You want to do this stuff when they're here? Great, wonderful. They paid for this. They'll love it. And I went back down there and now it was overcast last night, so it wasn't completely light out at 7:30-ish again when I was in there. It was kind of darker down in that basement. And I turned the light on and I'm working the camera and I'm fixing the wire and everything. And then and it was shortly after that I heard Am I Dead? And finally I got a name for the first time with the last group, I believe. I think Nick was in that group. I remember Nick because he was getting a lot of activity. He finally said the name William.
Really?
So now William is one of the directors' names is Bill. Was it referring to Bill? Is Bill the one he has a problem with? Don't know. But I finally got a name.
Wow.
Oh, that was your group, Kathy? Great event, very active. Thank you, Lorraine. I'm happy you came. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I had
it was
a good
really
time too.
Great to meet you too.
So that was really that building. I mentioned, like, I think I would sleep in the mine if somebody else was there. I wouldn't want to do it alone, but I think if somebody else was there, like people that we were ghost hunting with, or you're a chicken, I wouldn't want to do it with you. But I would sleep in the mine with Tanya, you know, and other people that I know. Just if somebody was there, I would feel confident doing it. I wouldn't do it alone. That office, definitely wouldn't do it alone. In one of those beds,
I have no interest in sleeping with the dead.
He is the most present spirit that him and the one from Captain John from Liberty Hall.
You would do.
No.
But, meaning that you would go in and you would sleep in there and you would have no issues with. It's not my fault your mind goes. I would not go. I have no interest.
I'm just going to sit back here.
I'm just saying, you're talking about sleep, like you would go in the mine and you would sleep.
I was talking about spirits being present in an area where you can kind of count on them being there whenever you're in there. But go ahead. Let's go back. No. Let's go back to this.
But no, my brain is stuck on the fact that you don't mind sleeping in the mine as long as somebody's there with you. I see. And now, would you really like lay out on a cot and go to sleep? Or are you just talking about investigating all night long?
No, I would never investigate all night long. I don't. I'm old. I don't have the energy.
So you'd actually sleep in the mine.
I would try. I'd probably sleep for 20 minutes at a time.
Now,
I couldn't sleep in the mine. I couldn't sleep anywhere strange, even a hotel room. For an entire night.
Sorry, but for me, knowing that there's spirits in there that want your attention or whatever, and that they can come up at you anytime, and it's not peaceful and it's not safe, and like. For me, the anxiety and all of that would be through the roof. I don't care who I'm with or what. No, don't want no part of it.
I mean, that may very well be an idea. Christopher was like, that, maybe we could arrange for like 5 people plus some of us to spend the night in the mine. We'd have to get like cots or something, but that would be an interesting experiment.
And would you separate?
It really, I mean, we would figure it out. We'd probably do it like Project Fear at some point, be together and then separate. But we would need a method of communication so that, see, that's my fear is that because when we were in there the week before, you guys were whatever you were doing at the other end of the mine, and Bob and I were together.
Yep.
And Bob and I would separate. And Bob and I would literally, we couldn't see each other. We were around the corner from each other, but no flashlights, pitch black, no IR camera, no flashlight, pitch black. We would just stand in one spot, talk, and then listen. And you want to talk about dark being all around you. You can't see your finger in front of your face. You can't see nothing. All you hear is the water dripping. You hear noises around you. Now, if you're in a cot and you're laying there, vulnerable by yourself, miners didn't sleep in that mine. So I'm sure they'd be like, what is going on here?
Well, I do know that they have tried, several Boy Scout troops have tried to stay overnight there, and they've never made it through.
Yeah. It'd be an interesting
I'm with
experiment.
you, Patricia. My butt would be sleeping in the car.
And maybe we're kind of thinking about doing.
As long as I can sleep in the car.
Like around.
When you guys settle.
Like around the fall, when it gets dark early. This way, if, people want to tap out, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, they could.
Go sleep in the car.
People, that's what Patricia was
saying. That's what I'm saying. If I got a pillow, you guys can, I go in with you and I investigate whatever, but when you guys all decide you want to crawl into your little cots and do your experiment, I'll be like, I'm going to go crawl in my car. Like, although I will say that I had 2 different kinds of experiences at the mine this time. One was when I was moving groups around to where they needed to be. I was going back to where my station was, and headlights came flying up the drive real bright. And of course, nobody's supposed to be there. So I had to wait to see what it was. And it turned out to be a cop. He saw John's flashlights blinking through the window where they were doing their investigation. And he didn't know that there was an investigation going on there. So he was coming to check, which was funny. And, like when a cop pulls up on a secure site and they don't think anybody's supposed to be there, they're kind of rough in the beginning when they're talking to you and you're the only person standing there. So that finally was taken care of, and he understood what we were doing and he left. And then after that, I moved another group for the next session. And when I went to go back into the mine, I actually had a skunk that was in the way that wouldn't let me back in the mine. And I had to use the flashlight and hide behind this cart to try to get it to move away from the door so I could get back in the mine. So that's a different kind of experience at the mine other than spirit.
Oh, Lord help me. Lord help me. Lord help me.
Let me tell you.
How do you sleep overnight at Hoover House? The Hoover House is different because it's a bed and breakfast. I don't sleep any strange place. I really don't. Like I said, even if it's a nice hotel room, I think both of us are the same. We kind of toss and turn the whole time because it's a strange place. The Hoover House was really interesting in that we were in the, what room were we in? I can't forget the name of that room. It's like on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it now. It's got all the books. I can't remember the name of it.
It's the guy. It's named after the guy that does the.
Oh, you were there, John? Hey, Heather. But the Hoover House, I can't remember what room we're in. It'll come to us, but it has all the books in it, like a library on the walls. And we were investigating there during kind of the event. After the event, people were in our room and we were investigating, and there was some stuff happening. And it's not being afraid or anything. It's more the excitement of Holzer. Right.
There you go. I was trying to find that name.
It's more the excitement of, hey, could something happen? Could something happen? That's why I always like. Um, there's been a couple of places where we walk in and they're like, "Oh my god!" The night before, somebody saw a shadow figure go from the bathroom
Yeah.
to the whatever, and I'm like, "Yeah." And I think they
And you
tell
get
you
hyped
that
up.
just to build the anticipation of, ooh, the maybe, maybe, maybe. But like, it reminds me of, have you ever seen the movie 1408? I love that movie. Stephen King wrote that, I think. 1408, John Cusack, the actor, he's like one of these writers who writes about haunted places. He visits all these bed and breakfasts and stuff, and he stays in the place overnight, and then he writes a review. And he's been to so many places, and in his mind,
It's
like,
disenchanted.
it's not real.
Yeah.
It's, and he tries to like write good things about the place, the decor and all that, but he never experiences anything. Yet every place he walks in, they have a name for the spirit. They have stories about the spirit, where they came from, and it's just like that kind of thing. Like, don't tell me if you know people have definitely passed in the building. Yeah, sure, I want to know that, and I want to know what happened. But like, I don't need that.
Don't build my hype up, and then it's
I don't really need that. I mean, it's different if, like, with us, we've been in these places, we've experienced these things. It's not a lie. It's not a story. It's happened. We're not telling you anything that we kind of heard from this one or that one.
Yeah, it's not passed
We were
down.
there. We saw that. We were there, and
we're usually with people who see it and hear it too, so it's cool. But I do have to say, staying at the Hoover House, and this is not something that, and everybody does it, and that's not a comfort zone for me, guys. You guys can probably tell at this point. They all decide to come piling into our room and do an investigation, and wouldn't you know, something happens.
Well, here's a little teaser for the December.
Yeah, December 2nd that we're going to be at the Hoover House.
Yeah, we'll be there
weekend.
Friday and Saturday night. And Cody Satori will be there. And that's when we first saw them do their thing, where they hold hands and that knocking comes from nowhere. And I'll be, you know me, if I think it's horseshit, I will say it in a minute. If I think it's phony or fake or made up, I will say it in a minute. They did that in front of me, and I was dumbfounded. We checked below them. We checked everywhere. I made them empty their pockets. They did that at the mine. The two directors, husband and wife, came to us, not this time, but the time before. And they said, somebody passed. We went to their memorial service this week. If you can give me a name, we will be shocked, thinking, are we going to get it on a recorder? Are we going to get it on whatever? I mentioned it to Cody and Satori. While Dustin was doing his lecture, it was Dustin, Cody, Satori. They went to the side and they were doing their thing. And I'm watching them, and they came out. I can't remember the name. I have it on video. And they said to me, first name is this. And I'm like, what? What first name? They're like, the person you mentioned, the memorial, first name. And then they went back over and they came back and they gave me the last name too. And I'm like, what?
And this isn't written down anywhere.
We didn't know anything about it. So I call the director and I'm like, first name this, last name that. And she's like, how the blank did you know that? How did you know that?
Pretty impressive.
And I said, she's like, oh my God, that is unbelievable. And I don't know how they do it, but they'll be there. And you better believe, now that we know what they do and how they do it, we're definitely going to have them. Hey, Jay, we're definitely going to have them do that when we investigate there. Maybe relating to, I don't want to spoil that because I don't want people doing what we do, but I'm going to figure out a way to do that a few different ways for a few different things. So if you can, December, I know that's a ways away, it seems like it, but it'll be here no time. If you can, that'll be really cool. You can either stay at the Hoover. I think the rooms are booked.
They're all booked. The Hoover
but
House,
you could still
the
come.
Cobblestone is not.
You could still come and do the ghost hunt both nights. $75 for either night, and stay down the road and go to Gettysburg. It's going to be awesome. We're looking forward to that. Like I said, it seems like a ways away, and then the Hoover House, like she said, the experience that we had, literally everybody's in that room with us, and we saw the shadow from the window where there are no trees and nothing that would cast a shadow. We saw a hand that looked like it was sideways come into the shadow.
It was so, and the funny thing is,
freaky.
We did everything because we had to sleep in that room, and I was kind of freaked out. John was freaked out. We did everything to disprove it. We were looking out the window trying to find if there was a tree. There was no tree. If there were leaves, if there was something across the street that had to cast a shadow, and just like, and then it went away. It literally went away, and we never saw it again.
We asked it to do it again.
Oh my God, that was later.
Yeah,
you're right. And then what else happened? Something happened in that room too. That was when everybody was sitting down. Remember that chest, the chessboard that they have in there, and the two chairs, and then someone was sitting over here, and you guys did something that I checked out at that point because I knew I had to sleep in that room. Well,
we're not calling it that, Heather. It could be that. I mean, it's just. No, it's
actually, what do we, the jubilation we're calling it, because they're doing that whole big thing
downtown Gettysburg, they do their holiday. That's their holiday weekend where they have their festivities. That's why we combine, because we know during the day people are going to want to go to downtown Gettysburg, check out the battlefield, check out the ice sculptures and all the stuff that they do down there. And then at night,
all right, so here's the thing.
Yeah, hang out with us, have some Frank's pizza, and we go ghost hunt.
There's a ghost hunt December 2nd. That's a Friday night. And then there's another ghost hunt. There's two. They're two separate ghost hunts, two different charges.
Will be there with us.
Yes, both nights they'll be there. There's a ghost hunt on Friday night that has a separate charge, and there's a ghost hunt on Saturday that has its separate charge. So there's 2 nights of ghost hunting that's happening that weekend.
No, the Ghost of Christmas Past is usually the Creeper Gallery thing we do. That's like mid-December. It's on a Friday. And Donna told me to stop mentioning it because she's not going to sell tickets until November. So she didn't want to deal with it until then. So that's, we have a good time with that, and we investigate haunted objects in front of people. Get to actually be in the shop when we do it.
Yeah.
So that's a good time as well. We were trying to do another event in December, but it didn't work out. It was something we went back and forth with somebody a while, and then it just didn't happen. Late start today. Hey, Nora, how are you? So,
John McGinnis said he was at the Hoover House Saturday.
Okay.
No, I just said. That was all. Why do you go deadpan like that?
Because I don't know where I'm going to go with that. Okay, John McGinnis was at the Hoover. John, if you want to come on and talk about the Hoover House.
See what I deal with? This man is like, oh, it's like trying to work with cement.
No, John can come on. You can post a link if John wants to come on and talk about anything he experienced at the Hoover House.
Sure.
That's fine. We can do the infomercial for the Hoover House.
Hoover.
So, but that was, again, the mine event. I know Tanya was pushed at the mine this week, this past event. And I know other people that follow us who've come to that event have seen shadow figures
just for you, John,
come up on them. And you know, it's the mine. We've been there, I don't know how many years now, but it's just one of the most interesting places. And well,
one of the miners got fresh. I'm sorry. One of the miners, it just popped in my head, so I got to say it, or otherwise it goes away. You know that. One of the girls in the mine was sitting down doing a session, and the miner said something very disrespectful. And one of the girls said that wasn't very nice. And then all of a sudden, the thing spit out, "I'm sorry," which was really cool. Jimmy?
I did.
Okay. See what he does? He just stops it.
I have to, because I gotta wait for my lane again. Lots of activity there. Yeah. Again, we've been going there for years, and when we were there ourselves with Pam and Steve and Bob and Gina, it's great to see other people experience whatever, because the lantern room, you mentioned the lantern room, they saw a shadow figure go in, or I don't know if it was a light or a shadow figure, and then they saw another shadow figure deep down into the mine by the explosive area. Those areas are really cool. And we did an experiment that we were talking about bringing back, because we you know, when you're doing EVPs, yeah, you can hear a shout or a voice from kind of far away. The mic will pick that up, but we wanted to cover a good chunk of the mine. So what we did that day is we had one person just walk all the way down one place with a recorder, and then another person was like 20 feet away from them. There were six of us, 20 feet. So we covered a huge chunk of the mine, one whole area. And we would ask questions so that the mics on either side would pick up the questions and the answers from the middle and the two ends. And it worked really well because one recorder at the end didn't pick up some stuff, but the middle did. So you knew where the voice was coming from. You knew who was
That was
answering.
pretty cool.
That worked really well.
And you knew right where that spirit, about where that, so if you were right between that person where that was heard and it was louder than where it was over between these other two people, you knew that that spirit was closer to you than it was closer to anybody else. And that was kind of freaky in itself.
Started anything up? I don't even know. I don't know. We, they film a lot there. They film a lot of different. They were filming last Halloween when we were there. They were filming something. He could something be block the parks around the main door line or trying to make sure all the lights blocked so I could see if. I don't know if they did that, Jay, to be honest with you. I don't know. But it's not only in those areas where they're seeing what you're saying. I saw it was sort of where we're talking about in that one area that's just a straight shot. I saw a light come from the wall. It was by the rainbow room. I saw a light come from the wall down to the floor. And this is when we were doing our lantern tour, and the whole entire group saw it. We stopped. We saw the light on the wall, and I said, "Could you approach me? Come near my voice." I swear, it came off the wall. That ball of light, the wall. It was just like someone took a flashlight on the floor, and it came all the way till it got probably about 15 feet from us, and then gone.
And put this into perspective, okay? It's one thing when somebody says they see something and then it just goes away and nobody else sees it. But when you actually are standing in a pitch dark mine where you see nothing and there's an absence of light, you can't even see your hand. And all of a sudden, someone says to this light, "Come closer." And it literally bobs and it looks like a miner that's coming towards you with their headlamp and then goes away. That's freaky. I don't care who you are. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
And then we did catch a few shadow figures. Yeah, Christopher said he was in he did the tent experiment, and I have moved it even further away, so he got to experience that. You get really isolated more than ever.
And again, Tanya brings her game camera with her.
Yeah.
And you don't know what a game camera is. A game camera is something they use like hunting. They put it out in the woods, and it's triggered by motion. Automatically takes a picture when it triggers motion. And she did have a pretty good picture. She was showing us that morning. I don't even want to say night because it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And it did appear as if somebody was standing with their back against one of the walls of the mine. They were sideways. You saw the whole entire outline of what appeared to be a person.
It looked like a really tall, beefy guy. You saw the outlines of his arms and his pants and the hat.
Something moving in the darkness on the game camera. Awesome that she caught a figure.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that black image that went through.
I mean, ideally, again, for the future, people keep asking us, if we're going to film in there again or do anything in there again. And we probably will at some point. See, we got so used to doing the live stream investigations that back before live streaming was a thing, we have 5 or 6 night vision cameras, with the IR lights, and we would film everything. And you're talking, like these TV shows, you're talking 6-7 hours on one camera. And there were 5 cameras. So you'd have to review every single camera to see if you caught anything at any given time, from different hallways, different areas. It'd be cool to go into the mine because you can't live stream from there with IR cameras, set up game cameras in different areas and just see what you see, have record. We would do that. That's how we used to back in the old days. We would put recorders in certain rooms and leave them running for 8 hours.
Let them go.
And you would hear us talking when we were in that area, and we would tag it. If we knew we were within earshot of the mic, we would say, "We're in the area now." And then when we left that area, we say, "We're leaving the area." So we knew, listen
And we've
between.
heard recordings doing that. Like when we start to come into the room, you would hear on the recorder, they're coming back. Or they say, they're leaving. You would hear weird, bizarre things like they're acknowledging that they could see us and they know that we're there.
Yeah, there are exits to the mind. They're different. It's not one way in, one way out. There's a couple of ways in and out of there if worse came to worse, you know?
There are 3 exits total.
So if it was dark,
and some of them are pretty far from each other. They're not easily accessible unless you're right by them.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like super far, but
well, if you're in the mist,
yeah, I mean, earthquake.
There's
Lars wishes.
That's what kept happening, and a lot of people experienced it this time. The residual boom of the dynamite going off. Yeah. I think everybody that night had that experience where it just went, and we were talking about it, and all of a sudden, boom, and that little bit of, which was pretty cool, and they all just like, what was that? And like, that's the residual we're talking about.
Yeah, what's fun is when we do the it won't be so much fun this year because we're going to be killing ourselves heading into the expo in November, but when we do the lantern tours, which aren't we, you know, we bring people through every Saturday and Sunday during I don't know if we're going to do it in September, but definitely October. We have, you know, people sign up like 15 at a time, and we take them on an hour and a half tour through the mine, and we stop in different areas, do EVP, we do other stuff, and it was tiring because every Saturday we had a ghost hunt, and then we would drive up there to do the tour, and you know, someone did all the heavy lifting, and it was great seeing the sample size experience that people had, because you can in an hour and a half have an experience and not mine, stopping in different areas.
Oh my God, we had a group of 15 people, and John had brought him over to the Zoolander area. He had everybody shut off their lights, and he said, okay, let's just real quick see if we can do a quick EVP with just a few people, you know, like 3 people, and we'll play back. And all of a sudden, as clear as day, now mind you, we're all in this little corner cave where we're cut off from the rest of the mine. And all of a sudden, I kept telling him, there's whistling, there keeps whistling. Whistling's happening more and more. It didn't in the beginning when we started doing this, but it's being more and more prominent. All of a sudden, clear as day, a whistle comes all the way down where there's nothing, and everybody in the group heard it. It was amazing.
And another idea for that, if we ever do that smaller ghost hunt, maybe it won't be overnight, maybe it'll just be into the morning hours or whatever, but I have recorders that are like parabolic mics. They have very, very sensitive microphones, and you can hear in real time amplified hearing. It's like bionic hearing. And again, to be able to do that in a mine, like the idea that, you know, where you separate and just have one point one direction, one point another, and everybody just ask a question and listen and
hear it real time.
Oh, I think that would be crazy to try that. I would love to walk through there with just the headphones on and see. You probably would pull an Aaron or Zach halfway through, just
I'll be out of there.
You know, it's a really cool place. And again, we're the only event that I think that I haven't announced really that's before October is, I think, the mine. September 16th, I just put the video up, the promotion. I'm going to list the event after we're done here, but they're all sold out until that one at the mine. So that's the next mine one, and it's September. I mean, yeah. Whenever we do an event, one of the first things I do, I go on Google and I say, what time does it get dark on that day? So I know what time we could start, you know, actually doing the paranormal ghost hunt, whatever you want to call it. And September is that's right in that cusp, right at September 10th-ish is 7 p.m. where it's getting darker earlier. And up in that area, you hear the crickets and everything is so quiet up there. And it's such a creepier feeling once you get into the September, October, November time, you know?
I'm just thinking in my brain about all of this. I'm like, the crickets, you're talking about crickets, and I'm thinking about skunks, the fox, like those are my experiences. So, you know.
Oh, heaven help me.
Hey.
Heaven help me.
You get the crickets, I get
the
foxes.
We're gonna do a spin-off, the Hillbilly Show, where we talk about non-paranormal things that happen during ghost hunts, like squirrels
Hey,
and
crickets have
fox
nothing to do with ghost hunting.
and
That's
skunks
you're
and
talking about
stuff.
nature.
I mean, geez, how hard is it
But
to set a narrative when you have
me? Ooh. I'm here just to derail you, sir. That's my purpose in life. But I actually had a thought that went, because you said, and it went right out of my head, that had to do with
no kidding.
the mine and ghost hunting and stuff, and it went bloop. So I gotta wait for it to come back if it does. If it does.
Is that the fox we saw? No.
No.
That was a big one though. We had a fox outside our window probably 2-3 nights ago. We're in a dead sleep and we heard oh, like screaming, and we're like, I don't know if you I love the honeymooners, and there's this one honeymooner episode where Ralph and Ed are sharing a TV. They split the cost, and Ralph is sleeping, and Ed comes because they're keeping the TV in Ralph's apartment. And Ed Norton comes down and he puts on like this crime gang show, and you hear bullets, gunshots, and screaming. And Ralph comes out of the bedroom and he's all freaked out. We literally jumped up out of a dead sleep, like,
I thought there was going to be a massacre.
What in the hell is screaming out there? That's why I thought Jersey Devil. I'm like, Jersey Devil's out there. Jersey Devil's coming to get me. All the years I said he's fake, he's out there. But no, that was crazy.
And it went on for a good while. It was just like, we honestly thought we were going to get up in the morning and see a bloody massacre, because it triggered the sensor lights that were out there on the apartment. That's cool. What?
Nancy heading out to Savannah Thursday.
That's what I wanted to say. Kathy said, isn't it bad luck to whistle in the mine? I don't know about that, but what I did find out is that it is extremely, the one thing about miners, that when they have their lights on their hats and stuff, that if you flashed another miner in the face with your light, it was considered very disrespectful, and they got very aggressive about it. So when we were joking, like, so who are we going to flash a light in their face with? I'm just like, nah, I'm not going there. I mean, can you imagine going like, hey, like, you're purposely flashing in a miner to get them aggravated?
You could be doing that all the time.
No, yeah, but I wouldn't do it intentionally. No. They're talking about doing it intentionally, like saying, hey, I'm going to flash this in your... But they did say that it was very disrespectful, one miner to another. You just did. That was a taboo. You didn't do it.
Karen says, can't wait to meet you on the 16th in September. Yeah, I hope you have a good time, Karen. And I do hope that part of the fun is being with the four of us, at events and, working with us. We have people that come and I don't know if they see the ads or whatever. We have, when new people come, it's a mixed bag of people that are kind of like new to doing whatever, paranormal research, whatever you want to call it. And then it's others that have been doing it for a while, of course, that have their own equipment and stuff. And, our events are, I say this all the time, and I'm putting it in the ads now too. Our events are meant to be, with us. When you're at a New Jersey Paranormal event, you're with New Jersey Paranormal. You're with us all the time. There is no free roaming. There is no wandering around on your own. You're with us, and we've done it that way forever, and we'll always do it that way because we like doing it that way. Again, for me, it's fun because I do get to see the difference between the effect of different groups have on the space. I'm there for the 4 hours.
But they're not just with us, they're participating with us. I want to make that clear too. They're not just standing there, watch us do the thing, they're participating with us. You're very involved.
Okay, continue.
Again. No, that's what I just wanted to say.
Thank you. And it's so hard to keep my train of thought and just pick right up. Was in Savannah back. Anyway, so again, for me, I get to see the whole 4 hours, what transpires in my space with so many different people. And it's fun because it's not the same. It's different in a lot of cases. Different people affect different areas in different ways, and the spirits react to different people in different ways. But you are, like Chris said, you are engaged. You are part of you're just, I say this all the time. It's like if when I'm with Tanya, Kenny, and Chris, and we're together, what you see on the live stream is basically what you're doing when you're with us. You know, it's instead of Chris, Tanya, and Kenny, it's me, you, that one, and that one, and we're doing what we would normally be doing together. We have the equipment. We're asking the same questions. We're doing EVPs. We're doing all that stuff. Only you're doing that in different areas because you're trying to cover as much as the places, and the places we're taking you are the places that we've had the experiences.
Yep.
So we're trying to kind of increase the odds, if there is such a thing, in being with each one of us doing different things and trying different ways.
Well, yeah, we try really hard to we can't guarantee experiences, but we certainly do our best to see if it's possible, if you can experience what we did, or what, I mean, we give it the best optimal, put you in the best optimal position if it's going to happen. And there's no, like I said, it's no guarantees, but again, it is all about the energy. And we've talked about this when the night's over and we all get together, and even with the people that are going and rotating around in groups, and we're doing, we talk about, and someone will say, well, not so much with this group, it just seemed to, like, all of a sudden, like, it was like the air went out of the bag, or all of a sudden where there was nothing, boom, it just, different people came in, and it was like unbelievably different.
I mean, and the participation, it sounds like a joke, but it's not a joke, really. I mean, we are collectively trigger objects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The equipment just measures what's happening. And you could hopefully interact with the spirit using a piece of equipment, the communication, the back and forth. But the real catalyst for interaction is
the individual, right?
Living, us, all of us, being in a space with people who have passed, trying to connect with them.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to do in different areas, doing different things. But yeah, it's not just us doing it. It's, hey, you go over there, you do this. Here, you hold this piece of equipment. Hey, you ask a question now, because believe me, I'm sure it's the same with all of us. If we see one person that's getting that stuff, I tell everybody the same thing. How great of a time is that one person gets levitated, pulled across the floor. The rest of us are going to be like, "Ooh, wow!" So I mean, it's great that way.
No, I say run.
So but the free roaming stuff, no, we don't do that. We don't allow people to do that, because it's just, if you're at that level where you have your own equipment and you want to do that stuff, you could find a way to do a free roam event. You could rent a building. You could go somewhere with a bunch of your friends and go rent a place out or whatever. But with us, you're with us.
Yeah, and if we let people go roaming while we're trying to do stuff, there'd be nothing but contamination. Nothing. We couldn't say 100% that, yeah, that was really an experience that we can't explain, because if we let people go off and roam, and there's a core group that's here investigating, we can't discount what's going on around over here, that we're not, a controlled environment.
And she's right about that too, because when we went to a big location, I won't mention where it is, but they were having ghost hunts go on throughout their event. Let's just say that. And they would people could pay to do the ghost hunts during this whole big thing. And we're walking through on a tour, and we're seeing people in that room doing something, people in that room doing something, people in that room doing something.
While we're walking, doing a tour.
And I'm thinking to myself, you're not doing EVPs. You throw that out the window. And anything else, it's like, I don't know. It's like so many things could be affecting what they're doing, that it's just, but Nikki brings up a good point, and we brought up the point as well. Part of what we do in the big picture scheme of things is that we are experimenting in spirit communication.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're trying to connect with the people who've passed around us. And for whatever reason, people always bring up the word vibrations. Raise your vibrations. Do this, your energy, it is real. Different people affect different areas differently. I've seen it 1,000
Mood
times.
effect too. That's
Moods
another
as well.
thing.
We've been with people that have been in rotten moods and they've come in with
And they
us
killed
and
it.
they're just, and literally it's like the people, the spirits that are there in some cases, and yet the next group will come in and you're like, wow.
You get
whoa.
vivacious, bubbly people, and it's like somebody turned on the light, and the energy is just filled, and all heck is breaking loose, for lack of a better description.
I mean, because the important thing, even I've done those free roams. It's difficult to find some. Yeah, and here's the thing too. You know, we do pretty well with our events when we announce them, and they sell, and we're fortunate, and people come and they they sell quickly, hopefully. Um, Based on that, we could double sell any event, triple sell any event, to where if we wanted to make money or make more money for whatever, we could have 12 people in a group, 15 people if we want, easily. We've done that. We could oversell our events, sell. We could just keep selling, keep selling. But what does that do for you? What does that do for us?
Yeah.
Except for it makes us tour guides at that point. We're literally there as tour guides, and we're just kind of going through the motions, knowing in our hearts and in our heads that there's way too much contamination happening here, and it's going to be really difficult to eliminate contamination and limit the variables that would give you hopefully as authentic an experience as we could offer.
But I also have to say too, there are some sites where maybe that's compatible, maybe, but it's got to be a really amazingly large site. But when you talk about these little sites and you're trying to cram those kind of numbers in and still do separate groups, it's hard to do. You're contaminating everything all around for everybody. So not just your 12 people, but this 12 people and that 12, because you're on top of each
12
other.
people in any spot, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
12 people in one room is bad.
I agree.
It's bad.
I agree.
I wouldn't do it.
It's
I've
not,
never done it.
It's not a preference for any way, shape,
because
or form.
I can't account. It's
easier to see what 5 or 6
when you
people.
see 5 or 6 people in front of you, you can see what they're doing.
Yep.
You can see. So even if they don't know that they're contaminating,
you do.
You could say, "I saw you move. I saw you moved your jacket. You moved your foot."
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing on the recorder. 12 people, it's tougher that way. So anyway, we try in doing what we do and adding you to it to make it participation along with experimenting. That's a big part. And again, part of the experiment is seeing how the energy affects the different areas. Our group's doing an investigation, want to feel personal, want to feel authentic. We appreciate you keep it small. Exactly, Chris. Large free roam groups can suck. And again, me doing what I'm doing, as long as I've been doing it, I walk through those type of things and I see them. Or if anyone asked me to be part of it, I would be like, why? What am I going to do? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? But we're going to Gettysburg in weeks now?
Yeah.
July 14th through the 16th. We're going to be at the Battlefield Bash. And we're going to be there all weekend from the 14th to the 16th. We'll be there Friday night, Saturday night, and we'll be leaving Sunday as part of the Battlefield Bash. Great event. Pam and Steve, Barry for the PA Wounded Warriors. It's really cool. Gettysburg is awesome. If you can make it, you should come. But people have asked us, well, if you go, are you going to ghost hunt at night? And we're like, are we going to what now?
Yeah, go out and we'll go with you, and we could do and we're just like,
we gotta get rid
want to go hang. Hold on, guys, gotta get rid of. Go bye.
Go bye.
Yep, bye. But yeah, we like to go when we go to Gettysburg. And yeah, we do like to go out and like do some things here and there, but we love to go out and take in the entertainment. And what I mean by entertainment, you come across so many unusual, cool things in Gettysburg, if you just walk around. There are street musicians. There are things that we ran. What was that one year you videotaped? They had this where people were dressed up and you could go pay to go in, whatever. That he was dressed as like a a grassy kind of thing that was hidden.
It was like a horror walkthrough type of thing, and he looked like a swamp monster.
Yeah, and he came out, and John did this whole thing with them, and just like, and we've come across some interesting people that are unusual that John will interview.
I did a musical number with him. We synchronized. We did like a.
You're synchronized, whatever.
John did a whole thing with them. I love how you described
but it was hey, because it's just the way my brain operates. But it's just being interesting and fun and showing you the interesting things that are going on that are unusual, not the typical, and just going out and just enjoying ourselves. So we do ghost hunting all the time. And then when people are reaching out, well, hey, you're going out to the Gettys, you're going to Devil Den, you're going here. If you are, we want to tag along. We want to go. And we just looked at each other like, we just want to go, no agenda, and just go have a great time. That's what we want to do. That's what I want to do.
We used to do that when we would go there.
Yeah,
that's where we kind of started doing what we do. We would go on the battlefield all the time, and now, the event ends at probably 5, 6 o'clock, and then you're hungry. Then we go out to eat, and then we're kind of like, hey, let's just enjoy the town, enjoy the people. I mean, we've gone out to eat with people that have come. And, the ghost hunting stuff, if you guys want to do that, if you're coming, great, man. Well, we'll tell you where to go. Everybody there will tell you where to go. Everybody knows the hot spots. I mean, there's no lack of hot spots. But, we're not going there to ghost hunt, that's for sure. Not till December. And, we were talking about that, how, at another event too, they asked us if we wanted to lead a ghost hunt. We're like, no, we're not working at any event but ours. And even though I love to do it, I love doing it. I really do.
We gotta have bus time.
I love doing it, but it's like when we're not doing it, we're not doing it. It's like.
But even though we're not doing it, the one thing that I do give him credit for is we bring you along. I mean, even like when we went to the beach that day, we had our refueling day where we just took a day for us. And John will pop on a live and he'll show you, like he showed you the beach and stuff. If we come across something really unique and fun and whatever, he'll jump on, he'll do a live, he'll share, he'll bring you along with it. So it's not like we just completely go disappear or whatever. It's just
no. We'll be going live throughout that week.
Oh God, yeah.
Sure.
Just so you get an idea and you get to see, and it's just us letting our hair down and having a good time without any responsibilities, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah, I mean,
I drive him crazy during that time too.
That time is different than
any other time.
Yeah, Monday
my
night.
Quirky, my
whatever time
maybe
it is.
I get a little more quirky.
Someone last year got into a devil costume and went into the dunk tank. I kid you not.
I did.
And someone this year is doing karaoke.
I'm not singing though. I'm part of the act, but I'm not singing.
So
there's that. I wouldn't torture anybody with singing. I won't even sing in the shower. I don't torture myself.
So if you want to see strange and unusual,
quirky. Quirky.
People think I'm the weird one. I am not the weird one.
And
maybe I will live stream the karaoke one so that you guys, if you can't make it to Gettysburg, can enjoy that, because
see if you can keep up.
It will be worth the watch, I'm sure.
Much to his
Someone tells me it's going to be a country song. Call it a hunch. But we are planning. When I say we, I mean me. Whenever you hear we're planning. I would like to do another open house / meet and greet again. Maybe this time not at the prison. Maybe at the prison. I don't know. But I'm really leaning towards Camp Evans to do that because we've never done it there, and they have air conditioning. So, so for my own selfish reasons, It's something I'm going to try to set up with the director there, so that you guys can come hang out with us and take the tour. It's an awesome, awesome place to tour. Military vehicles from World War I, World War II, all this different radio equipment that they used in battles and stuff. Just so much to see at Camp Evans, and it's very, very haunted. Very, very haunted.
Automobiles that they have from Germany and the different World War I, World War II, and all. I mean, oh my God, motorcycles, the old cars, the amphibious things, the boats that they use for the military, some of the airplane pieces that they have. I mean, that I got to go into that museum with him for the first time. I didn't even know it was there, and let's just say there's not enough time in the day to see everything that's there. And he knows what I'm talking about because I lost my marbles. I just had such a great time wandering through there while he was trying to conduct business and trying to keep me focused because there was so much there. I was blown away by that museum. Loved it. I want to go back in there again.
That's fair. Yeah. We get a lot of people that, show us videos of orbs all the time. And and when I did what I did at Sterling Hill, I had the camera down there, and I flat out tell people I was just down there. It's not an area they sweep up and clean a lot, so you're going to see stuff flying around. Is it relevant? How do you know it's relevant? Here's how you know it's relevant. And I have not many. I have a few clips in which the orb or anomaly has flown by, and like a REM pod was triggered, or a static detector was triggered, and something with motion kind of went off. That's something, because dust isn't going to trigger a motion sensor or an EMF detector. And in the case of the Sterling Hill, my security cameras have a motion sensor on them, to where a little icon pops up in the left-hand corner. It's a green man that looks like he's running like sideways, like a sideways view. And people were watching, and as the anomaly would literally fly by the camera, it would trigger the motion. And then the trip wires on the wall, beep, 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 would blink.
I remember.
Dust will not trigger an EMF detector.
I remember when
or a motion sensor.
You set up a camera in this old church up on the third floor, and that they said it was haunted. And you set up a camera there, and you had an RA light, and the light would go off. And there was this massive orb. It was big, and you saw it, and you said you didn't think anything of it until all of a sudden it flew at the camera, and then the camera actually moved.
Yeah,
like
that
moved.
That was a hallway. I'll tell you a funny story before we go. We were doing, this was a private case, and we're going back many, 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 many moons ago, and we this was the NJP before the current NJP, and we had a camera set up down this hallway because the husband and wife said they this is a funny story too. They would see shadow figures. So again, we set up cameras, we set up recorders, and we always tell people. Cameras are running, recorders are running. So if there's anything personal you want to talk about or say, know that we're going to listen back to all this stuff and we're going to hear it. So just be aware, we have cameras and audio running in your home. So don't say anything you don't want us to hear. So we're investigating this house, and a couple are staying in this one particular room. And that was the one where the anomaly came down the hallway. Literally, you see it coming at the camera, and the camera went not just a little bit, it went and then back to where it was.
That was crazy.
I loved this video because I was like, holy crap. The funny thing was, somewhere within all of that this cracked me up. Somewhere within all of that footage was, I don't know what the guy ate for dinner, but there was about a 30-minute time frame where it was nothing but the whole entire time. Get rid of that, please. And are you? And it was so funny to listen to that and it was just over there. It was just nothing but gas the whole entire time, nothing. And we're, you got your headphones on and you're staring at the video and you're kind of just like waiting, where's that shadow figure that they're seeing? Where's that shadow figure? Where's that shadow figure? And all of a sudden you hear, "Burr, burr," and you're like, oh no. Never went to the bathroom though. He was good at keeping that to himself, but it was hilarious. And of course I clipped it and I played it for everybody in the group and we just laughed.
Laugh.
But that orb was really, really cool in that we didn't see the shadow figure, but we did see the anomaly fly right at the camera and then move it. Whatever it was got behind the camera, moved it, and then moved it back. Really, really cool. Maybe it was the fart. It could have been the fart.
That moved down the hall, moved the camera. Even the camera.
That could have been a gas bubble that got away from them and just blew the camera off.
But the funny thing is that was years and years ago. And I remember that because watching that orb come, and it literally flew a straight line right to the camera, and you literally saw that camera, and not just so slightly that you had to, it literally went whoop and move. I mean, it was so, like, immediately you knew what was happening, and it was like your mouth just dropped, like, what just happened here?
Yeah. In all fairness, he must have had White Castle. I gotta see if there was a White Castle by that guy's house, because it was hilarious though, because it was just, again, it was only within like a 20-minute frame that he must have been like,
listen, we always tell everybody before we do an investigation or whatever we're doing, these recorders pick
we've recorded things everything that you couldn't imagine that people were talking to each other.
We've had to delete evidence because of some of the conversations we picked up, because we don't want to cause harm for anybody.
So that's it, guys. Tomorrow night, we're going back and forth. Isn't the pre-investigation handbook? No, I can't. Yeah, we wait till here's a, even with me with my stomach, and neither is hers, but we go to the diner after, and chocolate milk is a no for me, and cheese is kind of bad, but I got both after the story got mine, but I was okay. But tomorrow night, Creeper Gallery. Not sure what kind of objects, if any new stuff is there, but I don't know. She's been gone for the last two. I don't know if she'll be back for this one, but John will be there. And starting around 8 o'clock. All right. So tomorrow night, Creeper Gallery, more haunted objects, more stuff. Hopefully nothing too bad, because I don't know. Bad's not bad.
Not for you.
Bad's good.
You don't mind it. Have a good night. Please be safe. Stay healthy. And please, please be kind to each other. Good night.